Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. What's up? Welcome to Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and sometimes you're ready and sometimes you're not. And I wasn't exactly entirely ready, but that's okay. You didn't need to know that. This show is the show where we talk about the news. And of course, the news is, more sketchy than ever, I guess is probably a good way to put it. If you watch the news cycles and all the flip-flop and BS and the drama and all the stuff, well, then you know what's going on with the news. And that's why we do this, because I'm basically here doing the news show to remind you and everybody else and myself that there is a way to look at the news, to talk about the news without politicizing it, without telling you who to vote for, without flinging poo at each other, without using it as division rhetoric, without any of those things. And that's why I do this show. This show's about propaganda, this show's about you, and this show's about us and how we have to deal with all of this crap and how we get to try and figure that what the hell is actually going on in this post-truth world. So that's what this show's about. It started with our other show, which of course is Troubled Minds Radio, if you guys aren't familiar with that. And there's a lot to that as well. Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal. It's a little bit more fun, a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, a little bit more speculative, and we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff over there too. But this show in particular spawned from that show. We used to do a news segment on Troubled Minds Radio, and it just became too large, just way too big, because there's too much stuff to talk about. And so here we are doing our own news show. And again, like I said, it's not about... it's about trying to find what truth actually means. And I think even more so in this day and age, like I always say, I don't even think truth exists anymore. I think they've set this entire thing up so that it's not easily truth is not an easy thing to figure out anymore. I call truth the proverbial slippery fish. And I mean that because it's intentional. Like I've said before, I think it's intentional that they want us to not even be able to come to a general version of truth, because, well, then they can't divide us, right? So if the general version of truth is, well, you know, we're, as a people, we're being taken advantage of by our governments, and we all agree on that, well, then guess what, right? We'd be able to stand together shoulder to shoulder and say we want it back, whatever it is, right? So that's the thing here, and that's what the deal is that if they can't divide us, then we stand united as one people, one race, one human race, all right? Not race this, race that, race divide here, divide there. No, the human race, right? And so anyway, I digress, but that's the point. That's what they want to do, is they want to make it so that we agree on less and less, and they do that by eroding what truth actually means. And so, like I said, I don't ever expect to come to truth in my lifetime. I think it's far past that. But like I said, we call this maybe the truth compass. And as long as we're pointing in the direction of truth by sniffing out the propaganda, I think it's a good way to start. So that's what this is all about. What's up, guys? I see you in the chat. How is everybody? Thank you for the host there, Elijah. I appreciate it. Who else? Everybody's here. What's up? We got Bill. Bill. We got what's up, James. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Okay, so here's the deal. What we're going to do is the news. And as you know, we're taking your phone calls. So if you want to be part of the show at any point, you can give us a call at 702-957-1037, or you can join the Discord at troubledminds.org. Just click the Discord link right on top of the website, and it will give you a direct invite. And then just jump in the caller queue. It's simple as that. And there we go. And that's part of the transparency of this show, because of course the deal is that because I deal in the news and fake news and propaganda and all the rest of this, I am also human and I can be fooled, right? So like my whole point here is I'm not right about any of this. So take it all with a grain of salt, and most importantly, think for yourself. What does this stuff mean to you? And that's that. So let's do it. Let's get to the news. And the news is this. Let's start with this. Now, this one is one that vexes me, and this particular thought is disturbing, right? Because I think if you take this is from Yahoo News, and I'm going to link this as usual, and so you guys always have my sources, and you can always follow up on me to make sure that I'm not making this stuff up. Here we go. This is from Yahoo. And what will the Earth be like in 500 years? And just me thinking about that personally, without even getting into this article, which we will just a little bit, but just me thinking about that is a depressing aspect, because as great as science is, and as we continue to push the scientific envelope and get more and more technologically savvy with all the things we're doing as a race, as a human race, not as a this race or that race or the other race, not the subdivision, the human race, like I said, we end up leaving a lot of things behind, leaving a lot of places behind, places like Africa, places like third world countries, places like just, that's what happens. And so, whereas we get this, we talk about this thing in the first world where we have, the first world problems. Oh, my taxes are too high, or the government is taking away my freedoms. Oh, woe is me. But those things are real, by the way. But it's nothing quite like, not having clean drinking water, or not being able to find food easily, right? It's not even close to that. So, in any case, right, that we have this thing that's changing, this paradigm that's changing, and I don't know if it's good or bad, because, well, we should be able to feed everybody on the planet, but we don't, things like this. Anyway, right from the article, scientists can make some pretty accurate forecasts about the future, but predicting what the Earth will be like 500 years from now is a difficult task, because there are many factors at play. Imagine Christopher Columbus in 1492 trying to predict the Americas of today. Yeah, well, we do know that two main types of processes change our planet. One involves natural cycles, like the way the planet rotates and moves around the sun, and the other is caused by life forms, especially humans. Yeah, all right, here we go. I'm pretty sure I know what this is getting into. The Earth itself is on the move. The Earth is constantly changing, this says. Okay, great. It wobbles, the angle of its tilt changes, and even its orbit changes to bring the Earth closer to or farther from the sun. These changes happen over tens of thousands of years, and they have been responsible for ice ages. 500 years isn't very long in terms of geology. And, okay, well, anyway, as you see what happens, it's going to get into greenhouse gases, trapping the heat from the sun, too much carbon dioxide, Greenland ice melting ice sheets, raising the oceans, causing coastal areas to flood. You know where this is heading, right? So now the thing is that the weird part, and the craziness of all this is, probably the more depressing part of this is, will there be any free countries left in 500 years? That's probably my question, right? Clearly, if we're destroying the planet, that's a big issue. That's a thing that we should be paying attention to. That's something we should always be getting better at, all right? Like I say, I'm always crapping on this global warming stuff because it's all politicized. Sure, fine, there may be some scientific basis, but there's remember also the science is never settled in anything, regardless of what anybody tells you. If new data presents itself, then these computer scientific models need to be recalculated, reformulated. And as you know, science is always discovering new things. So explain to me how we know exactly what's going on in the Earth, in the entire thing. It's extremely complex, and I don't buy it. I don't buy it. The socialist takeover, right? That's what this is about, in my opinion. And basically, it's unfortunate that this is what we're looking at. So not only is the global warming and the rest of this and all the politicization of this stuff is also intertwined with countries like China and the New World Order and a one world government and all the rest of this. So that's the question, right? We have this Agenda 2030 stuff and all this other, conspiracy types, whatever, all the stuff we always talk about, the Great Reset. What do you think the Great Reset will look like in 500 years? They don't really get into it in this because they want to tell you about how terrible you are as a human being and all this other stuff. But yeah, I'm curious to find out if China will have actually taken over the entirety of the world by that point. Will World War III have come and gone? Will we have actually become this one world government? I don't know. I think these are some terrifying questions. Will the United States exist at all anymore 500 years from now? Yeah, well, I think we're probably looking at more like some sort of Orwellian thing, aren't we? Like Oceania and things like this. So I don't know. It'll probably be the Western coalition of the Americas, right? That's probably what we'll be looking at, something like that. But as we know, right? Anyway, I'm going to get off the soapbox. Let's move on. Shut up, Mike. CNN. Here we go. Let's go to CNN. What's up, guys? I see you out there. Here we go. Lindsey Graham tests positive for COVID-19 and has had flu-like symptoms despite being vaccinated. Now, this is becoming a sticking point, right? People are not liking this type of reporting. Well, why do you think? We'll go to this one next. So, okay, yeah, right, just as you'd expect, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina announced Monday that he has tested positive for COVID-19 despite being vaccinated, and he has experienced flu-like symptoms, but said that he now only has mild symptoms and is very glad he has been vaccinated because without vaccination, I am certain I would not feel as well as I do now. There it is. Quote, I was just informed by the house physician I have tested positive for COVID-19 even after being vaccinated. I started having flu-like symptoms Saturday night and went to the doctor this morning, he tweeted. Graham wrote in the follow-up tweet what we just read, I feel like I have a sinus infection and at present time I have mild symptoms. I will be quarantining for 10 days. I am very glad I was vaccinated because without it, I am certain I would not feel as well as I do now. My symptoms would be far worse. There you go. All right. So anyway, this type of thing, right? Just like I read on Monday, or what day is it? Today's Monday. I read on Friday on the Conspiracy News that something happened in Boston with some huge outbreak, and 3/4 of the people were actually vaccinated that were part of this new Delta outbreak, right? Of whatever the hell's Delta variant. If you want that rant, well, it was the fire and brimstone rant, I'm calling it, and that was on Friday. But in any case, check this out. So he's tested positive in spite of being vaccinated, all right? And then look what's happening. As a result, people don't like this. Let's say, when I say people, the White House or the political bodies that be don't like this type of reporting. They don't want you to know that after you have the vaccine, you can still get well. Catch this thing. And here's a perfect example. This is from Fox News today, and I'm going to drop this in the thing there. There you go. And all right. So White House condemns Washington Post and New York Times for completely irresponsible tweets hyping COVID spread among the vaccinated. Yeah, that's right. So irresponsible, right? So they don't like them reporting this because, well, it's the truth, isn't it? And this is what happens. They're like, you don't go down the propaganda line. We don't like what you report, and we're going to condemn you for it. Look at this. The Biden administration offered rare condemnation of the Washington Post as well as the New York Times. You know why? Because those two outfits basically carry the water for the Democrat Party. That's why. Okay, so the White House chastising them for anything is a little bit shocking. But so they do. A rare combination of the Washington Post and the New York Times over tweets that hype the spread of coronavirus among vaccinated Americans. Ben Wakana, the White House Deputy Director of Strategic Communications and Engagement, who also serves on the COVID-19 Rapid Response Team, was highly active on Twitter, responded to viral tweets put out by two of the country's biggest newspapers. The Washington Post was highlighting a CDC study that focused on a massive outbreak in Massachusetts among the vaccinated. That's what I was talking about. Here you go. Oop, it's gone. All right, so it's on the Friday show. If you're interested in that, there was a huge outbreak in Massachusetts among the vaccinated. 3/4, they said, were actually vaccinated people. All right. All right, here we go. Quote, vaccinated people made up 3/4 of those infected in a massive Massachusetts COVID-19 outbreak. Pivotal CDC study finds, the Post's tweet read. Completely irresponsible, Wakana reacted. 3 days ago, the CDC made clear that vaccinated individuals represent a very small amount of transmission occurring around the country. Virtually all hospitalizations and deaths continue to be among the unvaccinated. Unreal to put that in context, to not put that in context, right? There's your tweet or your headline, the vaccinated people, blah, blah. And here's the tweet, right? Crapping on the Washington Post. Well, more of us should be crapping on the Washington Post because, anyway. So you tell me, what's the real part of this? What's real here? So is it clearly we have a White House representative all pissed off because, somebody's reporting, their ally of all people is reporting outside the party line, right? Which you're not allowed to do, clearly. So, unreal to not put that in context, right? So here's the post from the Washington Post, the tweet. Vaccinated people made up 3/4 of those infected in a massive Massachusetts COVID-19 outbreak. Pivotal CDC study finds. Blah, blah. We talked about this on Friday. And what I said then was, how is this possible? How is it even possible? So is this fake news? Is it fake news? I don't know. A Washington Post spokesperson told Fox News that she was looking into the situation. Wakana then responded to a tweet the New York Times put out, which read, breaking news. The Delta variant is as contagious as chickenpox and may be spread by vaccinated people as easily as the unvaccinated, an internal CDC report said. Now, this was supposedly a leak, by the way, a leak. That information came out, not some sort of release. It was an inside leak from the CDC that made it out into the wild, and now they're freaking out, right? Because they're like, well, that's not the message we want to put out. So which is it, right? Is it the message or is it the science, right? So which is it? Once again, they're two very different things. Like if we have data that suggests this is what's going on, then shouldn't we know about it? Shouldn't we hear about it? Shouldn't these guys, even though they're Democrat suck-ups, the Washington Post and the New York Times, shouldn't they be reporting it? Right? Isn't that what journalism's about? Reporting, data that comes out. Not trying to spin it, just reporting it. Well, I don't know. You tell me. So here we go. This dude, again, Ben Wakana, freaking out. Vaccinated people do not transmit the virus at the same rate as unvaccinated people, and if you fail to include that context, you're doing it wrong. See, these people are freaking out. They're like, they're going outside the company line. What do we do? Yeah, well, maybe stop with the propaganda and just tell us the truth. That's the easiest way to deal with this, right? That's the easiest way. You're just like, let's just give people the truth. Let's give them our inside data from the CDC. Not that anybody listens to the CDC anymore anyway, right? Because all they've done is flip-flop for, 18 months now because, follow the science. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Let's go to phys.org and where are we at? What time is it? We're good. Do this one real quick. What's up, Gibby? Shit, is Mike fired up again? Not really. Not like Friday. It's Monday. Happy Monday, guys. Phys.org reports this. Why is this weird metallic star hurtling out of the Milky Way? Yeah, well, about 2,000 light years away from Earth, there is a star catapulting toward the edge of the Milky Way. This particular star, known as LP 40-365, is one of a unique breed of fast-moving stars, remnant pieces of massive white dwarf stars that have survived in chunks after a galactic stellar explosion. Quote, the star is moving so fast that it's almost certainly leaving the galaxy. It's moving almost 2 million miles an hour, says J.J. Herms, Boston University College of Arts and Sciences assistant professor of astronomy. But why is this flying object speeding out of the Milky Way? because it's a piece of shrapnel from a past explosion, a cosmic event known as a supernova that's still being propelled forward. That's pretty badass, I say. Quote, to have gone through partial detonation and still survive is very cool and unique, and it's only the last few years that we've started to think this kind of star could exist, says Odelia Putterman, a former BU student who has worked in Hermes' lab. In the new paper, published in the Astrophysical Journal Letters, Hermes and Putterman uncover new observations about this leftover star shrapnel that gives insight to other stars with similar catastrophic catastrophic pasts. Yeah, so good stuff. This is well, I don't know. Hopefully it looks like that too. That's a pretty badass artist rendering. But yeah, I don't know. That's what we're doing today, and we're talking about the news and doing our thing. As always, taking your phone calls if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link, and you can be on the show. But for right now, let's hear a word from our sponsor, which is you.
Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up the two accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us.
All right, let's keep on trucking, shall we? We got some predictions here. Night Stalker says, what's up? Says we better at least have flying cars by then. That's 500 years in the future. And VR nations and off-world nations, too. Who knows? Maybe we'll start colonizing other dimensions by then, too. Yep, maybe, hopefully. And I think because of the way technology works, I'll bet you our flying cars won't be allowed. They'll probably have the technology, but they'll be so regulated. Think about the way drones work now. Anybody have a drone out there? You see how the laws are changing? Now you have to take the test and be certified. You have to have your drone registered. It has to have the sticker on the drone. Pretty soon, they're going to have like homing beacons on these drones so that they, little, what do they call those things they put on planes? Transponders, right? Pretty soon, they're all going to have transponders. And this is what's going to happen to flying cars as well. You'll see. Mark my words, when that technology actually becomes available, well, they're going to regulate the shit out of it. Nobody's going to be able to do it except for, you guessed it, rich people. All right, here we go. This is from sciencealert.com. Yep. Awesome. Here's exactly how much drinking bottled water impacts the environment and our health. All right, well, I read through this and was like, okay, cool. So using Barcelona, Spain as a test case, home to some 1.35 million people, around 58% of whom consumed bottled water at least some of the time, the new study estimates what the impact would be if everyone in the city switched completely to drinking bottled water. Yep, that's right. The extra production burden would cost an extra $83.9 million annually and lead to the loss of 1.43 animal species per year on average. Yep, that's what the team found. And due to the process of extracting and processing the raw materials needed, there would be approximately 1,400 times more impact on ecosystems and 3,500 times more cost in terms of resources, compared with everyone in the city switching over to tap water and nothing else, the researchers worked out. Quote, the high environmental impact of bottled water was attributed to the high input of materials, packaging of course, and energy needed for bottled water production as compared to tap water, write the researchers in their published paper. So basically, no sweat, guys, just drink the fluoride. It's all good. Don't worry about the bottled water and the 1.33 species per whatever, the 1.43 animal species per year that go extinct. What are we supposed to do, right? What the hell are we supposed to do, right? Just not drink water? I mean, come on. Who's drinking tap water out there? Raise your hand. Not me. Not me. So you know what I mean? And this is what I'm talking about. So it seems like such simple things. Like, you think people in Flint, Michigan are drinking tap water? Come on. It's regulated by the government. Come on. What do you think? You know what? I wonder if they have actually independent studies like in Vegas here where they have, how healthy the drinking water is, the tap water itself. I'm going to guess it's not that healthy, right? So anyway, that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about here. I don't give the dog tap water, right? So, all right. So now I'm responsible for 1.43 species per year being decimated, right? Okay. So why can't the government just give us like clean drinking water without all the bullshit bullshit in it? That's another good question, right? Just want to know. Just inquiring minds want to know. Concerned citizens, right? All right, this one's pretty cool. Let's move on from all this stuff. Let's go to this. This is reported by Futurism.com, and this has kind of been reported all over the damn place, and it's pretty damn cool, I think. Google claims to create time crystal inside quantum computer. Now, this is extremely complex and kind of, what would you call it? Difficult to explain, but here we go. If the research stands up to scrutiny, this could be the spark quantum computers need. All right, now this is the way things go with this. This is just a quick, rough and dirty explanation of what this means. Now, we have this, we're going to equate this to, let's say, quantum mechanics, right? How we have the particle-wave duality, and they say that the observer effect changes the wave into a particle if you directly observe it, right? So it can be two things at once, a particle or a wave, right? So Now with this, if you can be both at the same time, that's called superposition, right? You can have both of those things existing at the same time. Well, that's sort of what time crystals can do without entropy, meaning that they don't ever actually, they can change form from one thing to another, one structure to another, but not ever actually lose their whatever's going on with it. They won't lose their form perpetually. It will continue forever, and so they can switch back and forth to different forms and maintain that superposition without ever encountering something like the observer effect, where it has to change from a wave to a particle. It can do both back and forth freely and almost simultaneously, and never actually decay. All right, now this is amazing, right? So here we go. Time crystals harness a quirk of physics in which they remain ever-changing yet dynamically stable. All right, that's kind of what I was trying to describe there. In other words, they don't give off energy as they change conformation, making them an apparent violation of the natural law that all things gradually turn towards entropy and disorder. Now it seems like it's possible for these things to exist after all. Quantum Magazine reports, at least that's according to what a massive team of researchers from Stanford, Princeton, and elsewhere working with Google's quantum computing labs claimed in preprint research. Now, if you're into torturing yourself, here's the actual paper. But notably, all right, so this is basically a new form of matter is what we're talking about, all right? Now, this is, if this continues and it can do as they suggest, this could solve all kinds of problems, right? Because quantum computers have this problem, and the problem is they can compute super fast, but there's something called, what's it called? Crap. I can't remember. I read about all this yesterday, and it was fascinating and confusing all at the same time. Anyway, I recommend that you read this and the paper and all the rest of this stuff because there's more here. Let's see. So time crystals represent a new bizarre phase of matter. The discovery could have profound implications in the finicky world of quantum computing. And here's some more. There's some more links. Look it up. There we go. Scientists create quantum system that stays operational 10,000 times longer. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Anyway, good stuff here. Read the paper if you want to punish yourself because it's confusing as hell. And of course, we all don't have access to quantum computers. But so notably now, this fifth phase of matter, right? This new bizarre phase of matter also it doesn't exist in the real world either, right? So even though it only exists inside the quantum computer itself, it still is something that is supposedly groundbreaking. It's like these were only theorized as existing in theoretical terms in 2012. And so now, interesting, 2012, the Mayan calendar, right? The CERN. But okay, in 2012, they theorized these things may exist, and there was no evidence of it. But they put it through the ringer and said, okay, possibly this could be a thing. And now, according to this paper by the Google people, they say that they have actually created these things inside the quantum computing realm. So, well, I don't know what this means. means we'll see. It's supposed to be able to change everything we know about everything, including they're talking warp drive, they're talking a pill to cure cancer, things like this. Because, anyway, so basically meaning that if we have a time crystal that can switch back and forth between these states, never decay, and always continually pressing forward, the power of quantum computing just became actually what we always expected it could be. So again, this is brand new. This is just a preprint. It's not peer reviewed or any of the rest of the stuff. But if it does get peer reviewed and everybody else can do what these guys have claimed to do, then the first step is discovering this. Now the next step is discovering what we can do with it. So let's see. Maybe in 500 years we do have the Star Trek utopia or dystopia, as it were. But interesting stuff. If you guys are into this, look up the one by let's see who reported this. Quantum Magazine. Here you go. This is the one you want right here if you want to explain or understand what the hell's going on right here. So here you go. This is and there you go. Actually, there's a nice artist representation of a time crystal. You see the thing bumping back and forth. So what they're describing is when it changes from that's the left side to the right side, it's also changing form slightly. So it's able to do both and then continually do this back and forth, changing form and never decay, never just disappear into what entropy is. What's that? The third law, thermodynamics, second law? I don't know. Anyway, so you get the idea. This is supposedly what it's gonna be, but and it looks pretty sci-fi futuristic. But read this article if you want more information. It's pretty long and in depth, and they're trying to explain exactly what's going on with this stuff. And like I said, it is not for the faint of heart. This is theoretical stuff that's smarter than me, and so like I said, it's difficult to explain, and so I tried my best, and there you go. Read the stuff, and there you go. What's up? Seb says, but the crystal might not think what Google wants. Well, yeah. we'll see what happens then. We'll see if you can slap the propaganda into the crystals. All right, let's see where we at time-wise. How's everything looking? Fantastic. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll continue with this fantastic article in just one moment. You're listening to Troubled Minds News. I'm Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. More after the break. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds News. Let's do this. Let's continue with this. This is from yahoo.com, right? Yep, this is amazing. And it goes a little something like this. Yep, Germany plans COVID booster shots from September. Yep. Yep. All right. Now, back on Troubled Minds, when Ash and I were talking about this in January of 2020. January of 2020. Think about in terms of the context of conspiracy theories and then conspiracy realities. We were discussing then that very much like the flu, the common flu, which this COVID thing is very much like, by the way, that these this was long before they basically in January they had sequenced the genome of the COVID SARS-CoV-2, and then they were working on a vaccine, right? But it wasn't even like super priority yet. It was still like, what the hell's going on in China? Is this thing real? How worried should we be? People hadn't even started hoarding toilet paper yet. But Ash and I were talking about, well, by the way, not only is there going to be these this fight, this forcibly vaccine passport stuff, mandated vaccines and things like this, we were also saying watch out, because after that, you know what they're going to do? That's right. Booster shots. Seasonally, even. Just like the seasonal flu shot, right? And so, well, here it is. Here it is. Germany plans COVID booster shots from September. Yep. There you go. Plans to start offering the COVID-19 booster shots to the elderly and at risk from September 1st, according to a draft document seen by AFP on Sunday, as concerns grow about the spread of the Delta variant. The plan also recommends promoting vaccination for those aged 12 to 17. 12 to 17, which would get further than earlier guidance issued by the country's vaccine regulator. Let me ask you guys, I don't know a lot about this because wink, wink, I'm not supposed to, because if I do, then I'm an expert. But as far as I'm aware, aren't the death rates from 12 to 17 almost zero? I'm just asking for a friend. Anyway, Health Minister Jens Spahn and Germany's 16 regional health ministers are expected to finalize the plans drawn up by ministry officials in a meeting Monday. Mobile vaccination teams will be sent into care and nursing homes to offer Pfizer and BioNTech or Moderna booster shots to residents, regardless of which vaccine they had originally. Nice. Regardless of which. Now we're mixing and matching these things. And that's all fine, right? That's all fine and well. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is the world we live in. So you tell me. Like, it'd be one thing, right, if it was just like an honest representation of all this, but it's not, and it won't be. Just like you see, the White House is all pissed off at the Washington Post for reporting something that may be accurate, right? Like, no, that's not the thing. You got to provide the context that follows the propaganda, right? Otherwise, well, the truth isn't the truth, is it? Anyway, there we go. Like I said, as predicted, all the conspiracy predictions are coming true. They're coming true. What can you do about it, right? What can you do? Back then, they called us nuts. Now they just call us a different type. They're like, yeah, you were right about that. And actually, nobody will actually acknowledge that we were right about anything because, well, yeah, you know why. Because it means they have to seed ground. And, no. All right. Let me turn off my phone here. It's beeping, which is a bad thing. All right. There we go. All right. So let's see. NBC News reports this as we continue doing the news. And we are taking your phone calls if you want to be part of the show. 702-957-1037. And what is this? Let's see. Yeah. All right. That's it. All right. This makes perfect sense, right? This makes perfect sense. There's the phone number, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, get your ass in here, and let's talk about this. All right. DOJ watchdog warns about FBI using female support staff photos in sex trafficking stings. Yep, you read that right. The FBI has pledged to change its practices after the Justice Department's Inspector General raised concerns that agents' use of pictures of female support staff members in sex trafficking investigations and, quote, potentially placing them in danger of becoming the victims of criminal offenses. Yeah, that's right. So not just were the FBI, doing these sex trafficking stings, they were using, yeah, that's right, people that work for the FBI, young, attractive ladies, as you can imagine, as, the photographs to attract the predators, as it were. Like there's not enough, regular ass stock photos out there that you could use of, scantily clad young women, right? Now you have to do the same thing with, your colleagues at work. Hi, FBI. We're talking to you. In a report made public Monday, Inspector General Michael Horowitz found that no FBI policy required special agents, quote, to obtain written informed consent from support staff members when they use their pictures as bait online. That's amazing, isn't it? So they're like, wait, though, there's nothing that says we can't do this. Oh, well, what about, common decency? And how about common sense, you morons? Unbelievable the way these people operate, right? Literally, just go to Shutterstock.com and type in babe or something. Come on. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. There's no reason they should be doing this. This is dumb. Horowitz discovered the lack of a policy in an investigation of a special agent who was alleged to have engaged in an inappropriate relationship with an FBI support staff employee. And of course, right, it only happens and surfaces when something inappropriate follows. Right? I'll let you use your imagination about how that may have gone down, but come on now. Are you kidding me? Get out of here, people. Go FBI. Yeah, this is the powers that be. Well, there's no regulation that says we can't do that. Okay. Carry on, you idiots. All right, here we go. Gizmodo. What to know about the newly discovered Tetraquark? Yep. At the Large Hadron Collider. Yep, you think the time crystals are weird? How about this? Yep, that's right. CERN's Large Hadron Collider experiment presented its latest discovery last week at a meeting of the European Physical Society Conference on High Energy Physics. Meet the double charm tetraquark, the longest-lived exotic matter particle yet discovered. Yeah, quarks are the building blocks of all matter. They're subatomic particles that combine to form hadrons, the group that includes the familiar protons and neutrons. In other words, quarks are smaller than small. Yeah, no shit, thanks. You're the best, Gizmodo. Protons and neutrons are both made up of 3 quarks, but the newly discovered hadron particle is made of 4, making it a species of tetraquark. The first tetraquark was officially discovered in 2003. Quarks have antimatter partners, evil twins, if you will. This new tetraquark is made up of 2 heavy quarks and 2 light antiquarks stuck together into one particle. How cool is that? Exotic particles like this can be created within accelerators like the Large Hadron Collider, but they pop into and out of existence extremely quickly. This new particle is considered to have a long lifespan before it decays, but long in this case is still so short it can hardly be measured in human terms. There you go, tetraquarks. What does this mean? I don't freaking know. I don't know. But it's a new discovery, and it's CERN, and, well, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this, and hopefully a black hole doesn't open up on the Earth. All right, let's or what's that called? Vacuum decay. Hopefully it doesn't bring about vacuum decay and a world united in entropy. All right, CBC.ca reports this. Yep, that's right. Scientists researching strange appearance of Arctic salmon asking fishers to send in their catches. Yeah. Weird. Yep. Scientists looking at salmon found in Arctic waters are still asking northern harvesters and fishers to submit any unusual catches in exchange for compensation. It's part of the Arctic Salmon Project, which is a collaborative effort involving fisheries and Oceans Canada, scientists from the South, and local hunters and trappers organizations. The idea of the project, says Darcy McNichol, a biologist with the Fisheries and Oceans Department, is to document the unusual fish being caught by community-based harvesters. What do you think they mean by unusual fish? Unusual fish. Is it like 3-headed fish? Is it like the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie? What are they finding out there? Quote, "We encourage fishermen who catch something that they've never seen before to turn it in for gift cards so that we can dissect it and answer questions that the communities might have," McNichol said. That could include questions about what they're eating, where they're coming from, and whether they carry diseases. Salmon can be a good indicator of change in the Canadian Arctic, McNichol said. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so if anybody catches any bizarre fish out there on the Arctic Circle, if you're out there doing that stuff, well, send it in. Or take the picture of Bigfoot, become a millionaire. Yep, if you catch Bigfoot in the Arctic Circle, let me know. I'd love to see a photograph of that. All right, more good stuff. Let's continue. Where are we at? All right, New York Times. More New York Times propaganda BS because the New York Times sucks. Hi, New York Times. You guys are terrible. But here we go. They report this, and this is hilarious. France gave teenagers $350 for culture. They're buying comic books. Yep, that's right. When the French government launched a smartphone app that gives 300 euros for every 18-year-old in the country for cultural purchases like books and music or exhibition and performance tickets, most young people's impulse wasn't to buy Proust's greatest works or line up to see Moliere. Nope, instead, France's teenagers flocked to manga. Quote, "It's a really good initiative," said Juliette Sega, who lives in a small town in southeastern France and had used 40 euros? Yeah, about $47 to buy Japanese comic books and The Maze Runner, a dystopian novel. "I'm a steady consumer of novels and manga, and it helps pay for them." Yep, there you go. As usual, right? You can't predict what's going to happen when you do shit like this because they're like, the youth needs to be more cultured, right? They need to listen to more classical music and operas. Well, nope. Manga. Yeah, well, that's where we're at. And I don't know what the hell you expect. Come on, really? If you give $350 to a teenager, do you really think they're going to go buy some operas? Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. These people are so stupid. But, fine. This is good, right? I mean, does it prop up the economy of the people making the books and the comics and the things? Hell yeah, right? It does some of that. So put that government cheddar to work and buy some manga, right? The tentacle, well, never mind. I digress. Let's continue. Politico. All right, here we go. Down the drain. Millions face eviction after Biden lets protections expire. Now, we'll keep an eye on this because, of course, well, this is a hot button issue right now. And, people being put on the street is not good. Excuse me. as I yawn here on the stream. I've not been sleeping well. It sucks. Anyway, here we go. Politico.com. Down the drain. Millions face eviction, blah, blah. All right. As the clock runs out on a nationwide eviction ban for what's expected to be the final time, millions of tenants are staring at the prospect of losing their homes as they wait for emergency rental aid that the government has failed to deliver. The federal eviction moratorium in place since September is set to expire Saturday after the Biden administration refused to extend it and Democrats in Congress couldn't muster the votes to intervene. Now, lawmakers and activists fear an unprecedented surge in evictions in the coming months, just as the highly transmissible Delta variant causes a spike in coronavirus cases. Weird. So who caused all this, by the way? Who caused all this? This huge just clusterfuck of WTF. Who caused this? Yeah, that's right. The government, by doing shutting all the things down, locking all this shit down, right? Now, this is what happens, right? When you take poor policy and you just throw it out there because you're panicked and don't know what to actually fucking do, this is what happens. You're like, okay, we'll just put moratoriums in place so you can't evict people. That will keep people in their homes, and, you know, for all the small businesses that we shut down and now they can't pay their rent and stuff, right? Because people aren't working anymore in a lot of capacities, right? Clearly other people are, et cetera, so on, right? One size does not fit all here, but this is caused by the government, right? This is exactly caused by the government. If they just left the fuck alone and not done a damn thing and said, take precautions, here's the best way you can do that, we're working on a vaccine, we'll get it out as quickly as possible, and we encourage everybody to take it, right? Does that seem so unreasonable to you to say that? Probably not, because it's not unreasonable. However, they start doing all this shit. They start pulling levers behind the curtains, and all kinds of shit gets fucked up, and businesses get shut down, and now we have this. Right? So who's going to save these people, right? Now we're going to end up with more homeless people, right? And again, caused by the government. You can say, well, Mike, COVID had a lot to do with this. Yeah, it did. But if the government had just left it alone, kept their hands off, their greasy mitts off of all this shit, then this shit wouldn't be happening right now. So let's see. Hopefully this doesn't turn into whatever this is going to be. Yeah, right. What's up, Gibby? A yawn. Never going to live that down. But I mean, this is terrible. This is like fucking with people's lives is what this is, and in a brutal and just not caring fashion. Like, oh, well, you know, we're not gonna do anything about this. We made this problem and we're not gonna fix it now, right? So the eviction wave is expected to hit population centers across the country. Housing advocates point to renters in Ohio, Texas, and parts of the Southeast where tenant protections are generally low. Housing costs are high, and economic problems from the pandemic linger as particularly at risk. Even though it has its own ban in place through August, New York is also a concern because it has been especially slow at distributing rental assistance funds to the hundreds of thousands of tenants in the state who are behind for their rent. All right. Now, notably, let me point this out. They talk about getting money from the government, right? They talk about getting money from the government. You ever heard this term, right? Like, good luck. Good luck. Government cheese. Some people, right, are, you know, have been on government cheese for a long time, all right? But try and get it for, like, people that don't usually have it, all right? This is what I'm saying. You're like, you need temporary assistance. Go ahead, stand in line, fill out the paperwork, and then wait. And then wait, and then wait, and then wait, and then maybe they'll kick it back and say you didn't fill out this box and you need to redo the form and send it back, and then wait, and then wait, and then wait, and then wait. And this is exactly what we're talking about. If you give more power to a already grotesquely huge government, this is what you're going to get. You guys want UBI? Well, get in line and wait. And guess what? When shit doesn't happen, they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't have the votes. Fuck off Pelosi, fuck off Schumer, fuck off McConnell, all of them. All these lying bastards, they can all go to hell in my opinion. Every single one of them, both sides of the aisle. They're liars and they're thieves and they know exactly what they're doing, and this is bullshit. So yeah, they caused this problem, and now look, once again, do you think Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell, do you think these people, these politicians are actually taking any brunt of this other than, you know, some angry people protesting as they're protected by guns? No, of course not. Nothing happened to them. They still have their fancy refrigerators and their $8 a pint ice cream. These people, though, the people that are going to be evicted, well, guess what? They're going to be homeless. That's what's going to happen. This is not good. This is not good stuff. And again, like I said, So much of this is created by the government. If they had not meddled and not shut things down like they shouldn't have, well, then we wouldn't be here now. And here we are. It's unfortunate. This is terrible. And again, for people that have faith in the government, I have no idea what you're watching or what you're looking into, because it sure sounds like a great idea, right? It sure sounds great. But in practice, this is what you get. This is exactly what you get. I'm just saying. Go ahead. Advocate for more and more government and go get in line. And we'll see. We'll see if they get you the food to you before you starve. And because, yeah. Here we go. Here's another one. Here's more. What's up, guys? Let's see. Okay, reading the chat. What's up, guys? I see in the chat. All right, this is from CNN. Now, this is pretty cool. Speaking of time crystals, meet the scientists trying to travel back in time. Hell yeah! Now we're talking. Now we're in business. The past is said. It has been said is a foreign country, and sometimes it's another country we yearn to visit. We can't, of course. Whereas actual time travel is limited only by how much cash we can spare. Visa requirements. Shut up. Actual travel. Sorry, not time travel. So anyway. Joining the ranks of movie inventors like Doc Brown and Back to the Future is this guy, Ron Mallett, an astrophysicist who has dedicated much of his adult life to the notion that time travel is possible. Hell yeah. He's come up with the scientific equations and principles upon which he says a time machine could be created, while acknowledging that his theories and designs are unlikely to allow time travel in his lifetime. For years, he's been working in parallel to a respected academic career to fulfill his dream of venturing back in time to see his beloved father again. Good stuff, right? At least he doesn't want to go back and, murder baby Hitler. That would be terrible. But anyway, Mallett was age 10 when his father died suddenly of a heart attack, and an event that the scientist changed the track of his life forever. Quote, "For me, the sun rose and set on him. He was just the center of things," he tells CNN Travel. "Even today, after all these years, there's still an unreality about it for me." And Mallett's father, a TV repairman, installed in his son a love of reading and encouraged his budding passion for science. About a year after his father's death, a grieving Mallett stumbled across an illustrated version of the classic sci-fi novel, The Time Machine. He says, "The book that changed my life," he says. "Thanks to the imagination of our author H.G. Wells, suddenly Mallett felt his family tragedy presented not an end, but a beginning." So anyway, this is hopefully this gets somewhere. Nice story, tragic and all these things, but I like the man's motivation, and let's get there. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. And of course, right, if we're saying theoretically it's possible now, maybe the time crystals make this actually happen. What the hell's going to go on with this, right? So who knows now what the Earth will look like in 500 years as we begin the discussion today, and is this going to be a part of it? And then again, as what's up Robert out there in the chat, Quint67 has said, maybe the UFOs we're seeing are us from the future coming back to check out what a shit show the past was. Yeah, well, maybe. Yes. All right, where are we at time-wise? I think we're all good. Everything looks fine. All right, here we go. Dubai. Here we go. All right, here's the thing. Let's see. Yep. This is like the stuff that never gets talked about. All right, everybody in the media bitches and moans about the global warming and the climate change, and they misrepresent it, and gloom and doom and fear mongering and all the stuff you read in here, right? But you know what they don't talk about? Yeah, this is from Insider.com. Dubai is coping with its 125-degree heat by using laser beam shooting drones to shock rainwater out of clouds. Anybody call this geoengineering? Yeah, that's right. It's actually happening. China's been doing this for a long time. Other places, the United States, have been doing this for a long time. And so you tell me, is this causing more issues in the environment or less? Weird. The National Center of Meteorology in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, has found a new way to make it rain. It's using laser beam shooting drones that generate rainfall artificially. Last week, the country's weather service posted 2 videos offering proof of the heavy downpours in Dubai's streets. Here's how it works. The drones shoot laser beams into the clouds, charging them with electricity. The charge prompts precipitation by forcing water droplets together to create bigger raindrops, essentially electrifying the air to create rain. This past March, the BBC reported that the United Arab Emirates was looking to test the drone technology, which it developed in collaboration with the University of Reading in the UK. Is that Reading? I don't know. Artificially generated rain is crucial because Dubai only gets an average of 4 inches rainfall annually. This makes farming difficult and forces the country to import more than 80% of its food. It also doesn't help with the country's sweltering temperatures. On June 6th, for example, Dubai recorded a sweltering temperature high of 125. That ain't shit. We do that in Vegas from time to time. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's hot, but it's not like the end of the world hot. Dubai's rainmaking technology is not entirely dissimilar to cloud seeding, which has been used in the U.S. since 1923. Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. So who's responsible for what now, right? Not entirely dissimilar to cloud seeding, which has been used in the U.S. since 1923 to combat prolonged periods of drought. Cloud seeding requires crushed up silver iodide, a chemical used in photography to help create water clusters in the air, right? So if we're putting silver iodide in the air, a chemical, neat, right? Since 1923, right? But of course, nobody talks about that particular thing because that would be the conspiracy, wouldn't it? That would be geoengineering. That would be, right? That would be all this other stuff that is just a huge conspiracy theory, right? The chemtrails and all the rest of that stuff, right? I don't know in particular about the chemtrail bit, but I do know that if they're doing that and have been doing that since 1923, well, you tell me. You tell me. Critics of the drone technology worry that it could unintentionally cause massive flooding. Oh, is that what we're worried about now? Massive flooding? Really? Neat. And so they also worry about such technology being privatized, Forbes reported. Yeah, cool. I don't know. This is right. Like, okay. So do we have a drought problem or do we not? Okay, right? They say that the water in the earth doesn't change. It's the same amount of water year to year. It just distributes differently. Sometimes stays in the clouds. Sometimes falls in different places. Sometimes some seasons drier than others. Some wetter. I don't know. You tell me. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, how the hell are we supposed to know anything when they're doing shit like this? And not only that, if every country in the world is doing shit like this, how does that get taken into account in the overall mathematical model of climate change? You tell me. You think it's even possible? Of course not. Of course it's not. It's not possible because every country is not going to freely release their data like this. It's not going to happen. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Let's go to the inner Earth, shall we? Agartha, anybody? Let's try this. This is from discovermagazine.com. Earth has been hiding a fifth layer in its inner core. Yep, that's right. That's right. You got it. Scientists say they've detected a new mysterious layer at the center of our home planet. The discovery could unearth more about Earth's history. Neat. All right. One of geology's basic principles is that the Earth is made up of 4 layers: the crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. But this may be squashed in light of a new study that suggests Earth actually has a distinct 5th layer that's been under our feet all along. Researchers at the Australian National University say that the new layer they uncovered is located within Earth's inner core. Deeper analysis of this discovery could help scientists better understand our planet's history and evolution. Yep, there we go. We got the 4.6 billion years ago, the Earth formed, and so some other stuff. Yeah, the Earth, the inner core, exactly. It's like ludicrous speed. It's like, so clearly I could not drink the wine in front of you, right? Exactly. The inner core. Next comes the mantle. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with all this stuff if you want to read the thing. There's the 5th layer. Scientists have long suspected that the Earth's inner core was made of 2 layers, but it wasn't until these researchers took a closer look at what lies below that the innermost inner core was confirmed. There you go. Yeah, James has it right. So the inner core, right? The innermost inner core. Yeah, right? So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. According to Salon, this discovery led to researchers to believe that the change in structure may have been caused by an unknown dramatic event in Earth's early history. Further examination of this tiny layer may provide additional details around how planets formed. Like I said, right? Science always discovering new stuff, which is amazing, right? I'm not going to bitch and moan. Science is great, and they do great things. But, politicizing the science, less great. Not so good. And thanks to Washington Post, the White House, and to the New York Times for great drama. Thanks for the great drama, because, that's what's up. Yep. Yep. An inner core of the outer core, right? Yeah, that's where we're at, and that's what the hell's going on in this crazy world we live in. But all right, so here's the deal, guys. I'm exhausted. I'm thinking this week for Troubled Minds, I may play a rerun or two. I don't know. I don't even know if I have that technology. I'll see if I can figure it out. I'm just exhausted. I'm like, I'm trying to do all the things, and I'm trying to do all the things that encompass all the things, and then I have all the human stuff I got to do too, right? And I'm just falling short, not sleeping enough, and things like this. I'm exhausted. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and play a rerun on Troubled Minds tonight. So no Troubled Minds tonight, if possible. I think I'm going to be able to pull that off. Cross your fingers for me, pray, do whatever it is. I just need some rest. I need to catch up on some other things. So I'm not planning on taking like a huge chunk of time off or anything. I just need a breather, like a day or two. Like my weekends are increasingly short because, well, all the other stuff I have to catch up on because all the other stuff. So yeah, so yesterday I was supposed to spend time doing marketing stuff for Troubled Minds. I did none of it. I've got this nice project I'm working on. It's going to be sweet, but I had to do laundry. I had to I took out the trash, clean the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? Like all the normal human stuff that doesn't get done. Like I said, Mrs. Strange is out of town. She usually helps with a bunch of that, and of course she's not the maid. She doesn't do all of it. I do a bunch of it as well. But without help at all, it's I got to do it all. She's out of town for health reasons for a family member. She's helping out somewhere else. So we're split apart, double duty here, trying to do a bunch of things, hold everything up, and like I said, it's exhausting. It's things get tiring, and so yeah. So I think tonight we're going to do a replay of Troubled Minds. If you guys have ideas of which show you want to hear on, basically I'll just play it on Fringe, and that'll be that for like a couple hours, and then we'll kill it. If I can make that work. I think I can make it work. I pulled out a new laptop. I think I can have a little thing to maybe have my radio station ready to go. But anyway, so tonight, no Troubled Minds if possible. If I can't figure it out between now and then shit, I'm going to have to do it. So, but if only there was anything interesting to talk about. Oh, like time crystals, right? So anyway, I'm not worried about that. We'll get to time crystals at some point and do a show about that on Troubled Minds, because why not? We haven't done time travel and shit like that in a while, so why not? But so I'm gonna kind of put off maybe a day or two here. Hopefully, do a rerun on Fringe. Again, if you guys are into helping the show and all the rest of that stuff, just listen to the podcast feed. That's the way we get paid. Like I said, it's not a lot of money, but some money is better than no money. If you listen on YouTube or anywhere else, we don't get paid. So you do it on the podcast feed, it's a few cents, but it does help because it all adds up. So if you want to help in the meantime, I appreciate that a lot. As you know, we have the Patreon, patreon.com/Troubled Minds. We have the Twitch right here. You can sub up to Twitch if you have not, if you want to help support the channel. All that stuff helps, right? Because it means I have to do less of something else and I can do more of this, right? As is, I'm just stretched like 6 different ways trying to make it all happen. And like I said, sometimes things look easy on TV, right? You're like, I'm in the TV there. But things aren't easy on TV. As a matter of fact, Axel, if Axel's out there, Axel is he's the guy who just did the FBI deal with us on that show last week. And so afterward, he's all, holy crap, man, that was hard. I could no way do that 4 times a week. No way, right? And I'm like, yep. You know, everything always looks easier on TV, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. So anyway, like I said, just going to take maybe a day or two, get a breather, and catch up on some things I need to. I will play reruns on Fringe tonight and tomorrow, probably, and then maybe come back Wednesday, Thursday. I'm going to still do the news show on Friday and all the rest of the stuff, so we'll see. But anyway, just I wanted to give you guys a heads up in case everybody was like, what the fuck is going on? Where's Michael Strange? This is bullshit. I want a refund. Well, if you've actually supported the show, I thought this was a good time to take the break because we just did a Patreon show, and it is on Twitch. Sorry, not Twitch. It's on the Discord in the bonus content. It's locked down if you guys don't have access to that and you're supporting the show, and that counts for anything. That counts for subbing up to Twitch. That counts for the Patreon. That counts for those things that directly supporting the show. You get access to the bonus shows. I just did one on Saturday, and it was pretty good. What did we talk about? Yep, the Vile Vortices. We talked about the Zone of Silence. We talked about portals. We talked about the Bermuda Triangle. So if you guys are into that, that's a whole 2-hour bonus show, and that's there. And there's another one prior to that, so there's now 2 Patreon bonus shows, both 2 hours long, and they're both inside the bonus content on Discord. So if you guys have not subbed up to that, or if you have and I haven't added you to that list, just let me know. Send me an email, send me a message on Discord. You can get me at troubledmindsradio@gmail.com or join the Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link, get in there and say, where's my shit? And there's also other stuff. There's that project I'm working on that I need to finish tonight, and that stuff has gone up there. There's two parts of that, of a 5-part series about UFOs, so that's going up, and I'll have hopefully the rest of that finished tonight, so all 5 parts, which will turn into a podcast, anyway, etc. So on. There's lots of stuff happening. I'm juggling tons of things, trying to make it all happen. So if you want to help support the show, that's the way to do it. Patreon.com/troubledminds, or you could sub up right here on Twitch, and let's do it. Let's make this thing a thing, and make it so I can do this full time and just start kicking ass. So I appreciate everybody for being here, all you guys listening. Thanks for your patience while I get shit sorted out. And like I said, so expect maybe a rerun tonight or tomorrow night, for maybe both for Troubled Minds. Maybe I'll handle Wednesday and Thursday, and then do that. So anyway, let's read the chat a little bit. Let's see. Gartha met the Nazis down there. Yeah, right. Let's see. Quinn says, make the repeat a time travel episode. I think most of us like that topic a lot. I don't know that I have a time travel episode since we've been on Fringe. It has to be like the Fringe format. If it's anything before that, it's not set up for commercial breaks. So with the bumper music and stuff. So I don't think I can do time travel. So the good news is we'll do a time travel show this week. So expect it probably Thursday, I would guess, because we'll have Ash probably on Wednesday. So expect a time travel show Thursday, and then that way we can have a nice repeat for that. But if anybody has ideas of a repeat they want to hear, like I said, it's no big deal for you guys because you know where to find the stuff. You can just go directly to YouTube and listen to everything commercial free, or go straight to the podcast feed, like I said, and listen with minimal commercials over there. It's only like, I think it's 90 seconds of commercials for every like 30-minute segment. So it's not a lot. It's a lot less than if you just listen directly on the radio. So there's other ways. So, it doesn't really affect you guys unless you're listening to the Fringe exclusively. So, which of course you're here. So you guys aren't affected by that at all. So anyway, that's what's going on tonight. I wanted to let you know in case there was like what WTF is going on here. But it has been 6 months. So I started at Fringe in January. It is now August, and I haven't missed a Fringe show. So every at least three nights a week since January, I haven't missed a single one. And so I think maybe just a little break is in order because I'm exhausted. Guys, I'm exhausted. But yeah, all right. So that's what's up. That's what's going on tonight. And so what we'll do, so expect that. I will make that announcement on Twitter and also on Discord so everybody knows, and that's what's up. As always, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for participating. Thanks for all the great chat. Thanks for all the great support. Like I said, I would have rage quit this so long ago if it wasn't for all the amazing people and the great community that we're building here. So thanks again for all that. Let's say thank you to the folks that have subbed up to the channel as we do our outro here. Let's do it. What do we got? Let's see. Where am I at? Let's play this. All right, let's do it. Here we go. All right. Thank you to these folks. Yeah, that's right. These folks. Those folks. You know what I'm saying? 8 Twitch subs. AJ Dare, Alien Nichan, Bailey, Gibby 21888. We got Dark Devious, 40s AM, Ident, J Up. Got Jay from New York, Large Marge, Noble Cowell, Not the Golf Channel, Quint67, Rohan, Stinky Carnival, Superbike 1, Satan Claus. Patreon supporters, thank you. Additional thank you to these folks: Alien Nichan, Axel Steele, Cole, Dark Devious, Dwayne Dibley, Hell21, J Up, Johnson, Matt Sowell, and Penny. Shout out to Cole and Penny, new Patreon supporters, and you can support the show for as little as $5 a month. Think about all of the amazing times you've had with Troubled Minds. Is that worth a cup of coffee once a month? I think so. I work extremely hard and I'm extremely exhausted as a result. I've got the proof. I'm tired. You see the bags are under my eyes. All right. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll be back definitely sometime this week. I'm not sure when. If I get a great night's sleep and feel like $1 million tomorrow, we'll just hit the ground running tomorrow. But if not, expect maybe Monday or Tuesday of reruns and no Troubled Minds, and then we'll get back to it on Wednesday and Thursday. So that's my tentative definitive plan, but I reserve the right to change my mind as my rest dictates. So there we go. Thanks again, guys. You are all the best. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fantastic Monday. Happy Monday. Don't let Monday be the end of the world, because it's not. And, well, more troubled minds and everything coming at you. So there you go. Thanks, guys. Thanks again. You're all the best. We'll see you soon. What's up, James? Also signed up the Patreon as well. Thank you. Appreciate that. I see you mentioning that there. Apparently I didn't check the Patreon, but thank you, guys. We are out. Have a great night.